Welcome to the Community Collective Podcast. I'm Johnny B. Good, the flip-flop agent, and I've partnered with the Davison Area Chamber of Commerce to bring you the stories that shape our local communities. In our third season, our focus is about connecting, learning, and celebrating the voices that make our communities unique. Join us during this third season as we engage in thoughtful conversations and insightful moments. This podcast is commercial-free and supported by both myself, my co-host, and our guests. We would be so appreciative if you could like, share, and subscribe as we continue having conversations that matter and cannot thank you enough for taking the time to listen.
Hello, and welcome to a new episode of the Community Collective Podcast. I am Travis Howe, the Executive Director of the Davison Area Chamber. My co-host, Johnny B. Good, the OG flip-flop agent, is out showing some houses today, which is exciting on a nice day like this. But talking about being outside, I am looking forward to talking to our guest, and I just spent almost 7 hours with him recently. We have today Patrick Lanahan, the director of the Genesee County Parks. Patrick, welcome today. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Travis.
I will say, when I came home and I started talking to my wife about all the time we spent together, she was just amazed with kind of all the new things I shared about everything that Genesee County Parks is offering and has available to people. And some of them were brand new. So I think that was really exciting. So that's something that I know we're going to touch on a lot today.
Yeah, we have a lot to offer for the community, whether you live here, whether you're coming into the community. With over 11,000 acres, there's just a lot to do.
Yeah, we'll hop right in to the first question. And I think this is one of the most important ones. And especially a lot of our listeners probably have at some point in their lifetime or recently been to one of the park's properties or enjoyed what's offered. But Patrick, can you kind of share how Genesee County Parks contributes to the local community's being and what initiatives have been particularly impactful in fostering community spirit in what you guys offer?
Sure. One of the main things our parks do is they promote the physical and mental health for the people that use them. Our parks, offer vital green space, that really encourages physical activity such as hiking, biking, sports. And, when you go out into our parks, you see people just being active. It could be an adult, could be somebody who's aging gracefully, it could be a kid. And when you look at that too, it's people of different abilities. You could go to Bluebell Beach, where we put in the county's first universally accessible playground a few years ago. So barrier free. We looked at a whole bunch of different ways that would, help people of different abilities, whether it be, mobility, whether it be cognitive, those sort of things. A lot of times you go outside of our office here is the Flint River Iron Bell Trail. When we get in at 7:30 in the morning, there's already 5, 6, 7 cars usually in the parking lot for people out walking or riding their bikes, and that stays through the whole day. And then even after we leave, then the activity really, jumps up. People they love to get out and recreate when they're on their free time after work. For some people, that is the mental health. They're doing it to unwind after a long day. Some people, want to do it to promote their physical health. Those are two of the main things. But on top of it, our educational programs. We run numerous educational programs, mainly focused on environmental conservation and outdoor skills at Fort Mar Nature Preserve, which is very close to Davison. Right now, one of our more popular programs is on Wednesdays. We have a pop-up program and the theme changes every week. So you don't necessarily know what it is, but today we had superheroes and our friends from the MSU Extension and 4-H were out there. And, a great amenity that we're able to offer out there too is, when you talk about the educational needs, sometimes those students not being in school, they miss out on vital resources, like educational meal. Or so sometimes the students miss out on vital parts of their day, like a healthy meal. So we've partnered with the Eastern Michigan Food Bank at Flormar, Bluebell, and some other parks throughout the city of Flint to offer nutritious meals for lunch. So just another great thing. All you have to do is show up. It's called Meet Up and Eat Up. That's basically what you have to do. You meet up at the park and, your child can get a healthy meal. Our volunteer opportunities in the parks, our volunteer hours equate to about $760,000 worth of manpower throughout the year. And that's through our volunteers with Keep Genesee County Beautiful, our volunteers at Crossroads Village and Huckleberry Railroad, or our volunteers that just want to pick up trash in the park or beautify a garden bed or paint a pavilion. We're always looking for those sort of projects to give to people when they come to us.
I think the amazing thing is this is just not something that's all like brand new. You have so many new ideas, but the time I spent with you, Genesee County Parks has an extremely long history of one growing but being involved. And I mean, it's amazing to see where it is now and everything you guys are offering. I mean, from camping to, like you said, the meet up and eat up to, I mean, now you guys really working hard to make things barrier free for people. So, can you, I mean, one thing, how long has Genesee County Parks been around?
So Genesee County Parks started in 1968. Some of our parks did predate the park system. So the Road Commission did run some parks. Richfield County Park, Flushing County Park, Bill Lake County Park, and Linden County Park were all Road Commission parks. And those predate the park system by 30 to 40 years. When you go through those parks, there's a very distinctive style. And that is because back in the 1930s, for Flushing, Richfield, and Linden, they were built as part of the New Deal as a work progress administration project. So that's why it has that really up north feeling when you're in those parks, especially Richfield, because it was modeled after some of the parks that they were doing up there as well and following that style. When you look at the history of the Parks and Rec Department, the Parks Commission, it all came out of a master plan that the city of Flint was doing and some foresight by the CS Mott Foundation. On having a large recreation space, similar to how the Huron-Clinton Metro Parks operate. In fact, that's one of the things that they were doing. They were looking at, how were they doing Stony Creek? How were they doing Kensington? And how can we do that up here? So it came around pretty quick. There was some legislative hurdles that needed to be done, and those got taken care of in Lansing, and the Parks Department was formed, and it was like a gun going off. There was a mad dash to build the Genesee Recreation Area, which is, around Mott Lake. We also refer to it as the Mott Lake area. That was all built fairly quickly. The campground out at Holloway Regional Park, Wolverine Campground, that opened up to the public in 1978. So there was a very, very quick turnaround. Crossroads Village and Huckleberry Railroad, that was a centennial or a bicentennial project for Genesee County. So that opened in 1976. It's not what we all see today when we get there, but there's quite a bit there, including the railroad. The park system has a long history of being innovative in that. And, we continue that through today. And, like what you were saying is, reinvesting and reinventing ourselves. Wolverine Campground is one of those sites. We've went through and we've upgraded buildings. We have a new shower house and restroom facility that is completely ADA accessible. We also built a smaller one where one of the smaller bathrooms was, and then our new 50 sites up there. We added 50 sites, so we have 250 sites at the campground, and the new sites, they're 100 by 60, and full hookup, 50 amp service, sewer, water. They're beautiful. They sit up on the hill. They're nice and quiet. Just a great opportunity on, how we're reinventing ourselves. Also, we're trying to bring in new activities and working with promoters to bring in some more events that, you just haven't seen, as some of those things come up and, leveraging on our partnerships. We used to have the Huckleberry Hustle with the Crim at Crossroads Village. That took a hiatus for quite a few years, and we reactivated that partnership with the Crim. We're going to be having a 5K race at Crossroads during the Halloween season. It'll be October 26th, and you can dress up to run it. The village is going to be completely decked out, and then after the race, it will open up for trick-or-treating. So, it's a natural progression.
And I think that's the amazing part is your vision and your team working with you. You're, I think, constantly thinking of new ideas. I mean, I know when going by Wolverine campsite, it was amazing to see one, how many people were already out there, and then how much more new space that you guys created. I mean, I think that's showing that this is kind of a new destination that people have a long history going to, but newer people are coming up here to camp and spend time in Genesee County. And then you talk about the 5K. And I came home right away and mentioned to my family, like, we love Halloween. I was like, all right, guys, we have to look and see if we're available for this date just to get in the village and Crossroads Village and check it out in a whole different avenue. And we've always gone trick or treating out there with our family. But I think by doing a 5K out there, that seems like another great way just to draw in people from even other counties to come up
Yeah.
here to enjoy something. And I think that's important and one just amazing to see how you guys are just looking towards the future and how to constantly draw more and more people into the area.
Yeah, like you said, Travis, for us, obviously our main priority is our citizens here in Genesee County, but a major part of it too is, how can we participate to help the economic development and vitality of Genesee County? When I look at Parks and Rec, yeah, we say, that's the reason why, somebody may want to move to a community, is those services. But that's also a reason why a business may want to relocate. They may see that as, amenities that they want their employees to have. Active, healthy employees are good for, the bottom line, good for the insurance, and people are happier when they're outside. You see that even here, in the office, if I'm having a bad day, I just go outside for a walk for a couple minutes and I'm revitalized. The power of what Parks and Rec does is, severely understated sometimes.
And I think one of the important things is I know you mentioned Formar, and I know my family's really love that place. My wife and I would go on dates there, just enjoy hiking and just enjoying being outside. And we've done a couple of the educational classes out there. And I know for myself, I learned to snowshoe. And I think your education programs really play an important part in your strategy. Can you kind of fill us in on what role do you see those educational programs playing as engagement at the parks? And is there like a program or two that you would really like to highlight?
So when we talk about those educational programs, it's funny you mentioned snowshoeing because when I was the director in Grand Blanc Township, I had Former come out and we did snowshoeing. And it was the first time I ever tried snowshoeing. And I have a pair now. I absolutely love it. And, that's one of the important things. Formar isn't just, a place that you go to. Our naturalists are on the road. We're in every school district in Genesee County through programs and through the SD. We're also out in other people's facilities. There are other municipalities that contract with our naturalists to go out and, do programs for them, like what I was saying with Grand Blanc. And then, the exciting thing is, when we talk about education and that, this year we started our first nature day camp, which is doing amazing in that, we're pretty much full in almost every age group except for the older age group. We got a couple spots, that we haven't quite filled yet, but being able to be the stewards and, at a young age to teach those skills to the youth is, very important for us. But also at the same time, it's not just youth. If you're an adult and you want to learn nature photography or bird watching, or things like that, our parks offer that. It's not always a program that we might offer ourselves. Like I said, with our partnerships, we partner with multiple organizations to be able to offer things in parks. But, you know, one of the best ways to, find that information is our Parks Playbook. And that's the one that goes out every year in the View. It used to be called the Family Fun Guide. We rebranded it a little bit because we offer more than just programs and events for families. And our website, GeneseeCountyParks.org, and we do email blasts on a fairly regular basis. So, you can sign up for, what you like to do.
Yeah, so I think with so many of these programs and educational opportunities and camping, I think one of the big things that I'm really curious about, and I'm sure so many other people are, how does Genesee County Parks incorporate environmental stewardship into its operations? And what steps are you taking to ensure that parks are sustainable for future generations?
So obviously our staff at Formar, we have our naturalist out there, but we also have a horticulture division. They work with our staff among multiple issues throughout the park system. Environmental stewardship, it's at the heart of Genesee County Parks operations. We try to incorporate sustainable practices, across all aspects of our management to ensure our natural resources, are really preserved for that next generation. We look at conservation programs, we actively try and manage and restore native habitats. If you go out to Formar on a regular basis, you may notice that we've cut some trees down. We were cutting down black locusts, which are invasive. We also look out, into the parks, whether it's Phragmites or autumn olive or buckthorn. We also work with the Soil Conservation District and other partners like the Watershed Coalition to make sure that we are, able to take care of those needs. We look at sustainable maintenance. We try to prioritize eco-friendly materials, minimize our chemical use, and implement water conservation techniques and landscaping in our new facilities, but also in our current. You'll notice our horticulture division, who do an awesome job. They're the ones that take care of our flower beds, whether it be the ones in the front of the park, whether it be here at the administration building. We're really trying to look at, our native genotypes and make sure that, those plants that we're using are native and local. One, it saves money for us. We're not having to replant every year. We have the plants that keep coming back, and they save on water, and they also help with the soil health. We're trying to do that as much as possible. Within our facilities, we're switching out to LED lighting whenever it makes sense. We promote recycling and composting throughout the parks, and in fact, Formar does some programs specifically with that, and with our Keep Genesee County Beautiful division. We partner with the City of Flint, the Planning Commission, on those recycling days that you see all over the place. And of course, the environmental education, we want to talk about stewardship. Our staff, they do the Project Wet classes, they do the Project Wild, they do the Leave No Trace, just trying to make sure that our next generation knows the role that they can play in protecting the environment.
So one of the things that I think more people will be interested in, you've talked about so many great opportunities. What are some of the things? I mean, your background is in parks, and when we've talked, I can really tell how passionate you are about getting outside yourself and enjoying nature and enjoying so many different avenues. What are some of the things that you really enjoy when you get outdoors?
It's funny. We're a Parks and Rec family. I've been in Parks and Rec in some form, since I've been in high school. My girlfriend's also a recreation superintendent in Northville Township. What do parks people do on their days off? They go to parks. And, whether it's, riding a new trail, I'm an avid biker. I like mountain biking. I'm a backpacker. I'm a kayaker. So a lot of those amenities that we have here are things that I like to do. And it's stuff that Bridget likes to do. And it also helps too, because we're in parks so often, we see how other people are doing things. And, you know, it's not uncommon for me to come back from a weekend or a long weekend or a vacation with 10, 15, 20 photos on my phone if I haven't texted them out while we're out there exploring. You know, we're always working, but being able to enjoy it. I'm more of a passive recreation person. I would much rather work holiday weekends and then have some time off during the week. But you know, what Michigan has to offer as far as outdoor recreation is, you know, right up there with, Colorado, and other states. And what we have here in Genesee County, I'm from the west side of the state. The fact that I'm still here on the east side, says a lot. What we have here, it is the largest county park system in the state of Michigan with over 11,000 acres. We manage closer to 13,000 acres through some contracts with the new state park coming in, and then also with the city of Flint. When you look at, we've only scratched the surface on, what it is that Genesee County Parks is. There's just there's so much more. And, I invite people to, be like me on the weekends, go out and explore. We've got a great staff that can help you, find areas that you've never been before. I think, you were probably surprised with, just what I showed you just in the greater Davison area, and not even, the Linden or the Flushing or the Buell Lake area, just mainly the Holloway and a little bit of the Genesee area. There's just so much to explore. You can get on your bike right here at our administrator office. You can ride out to Richfield Park, or you can ride downtown, and through the trail connections, you can ride all the way out to Swartz Creek. It's very special what we have here. And we're working on completing the Iron Belt Trail through Genesee County, which when it's completed, it will go from Belle Isle State Park in Detroit all the way up to Ironwood in the UP. And in my spare time, I like to ride the trail and just see the diversity in the trail, exploring different communities and that. Yeah, we say get away right away as far as Genesee County Parks, what our slogan is. And there's just so much to do. And even on the weekends, I can spend a lot of time in our parks and see something new.
And I think with when you mentioned almost 13,000 acres that Genesee County Parks is part of managing or organizing and part of it, I think one of the things that probably a lot of people are interested in and looking forward, what are some of the major projects or developments in store for Genesee County Parks, and how can the community get involved or support these efforts?
Sure. Like I said, the Iron Belt Trail, we're just finishing a completion of it from the village of Atlas to the Grand Blanc Township line. The next section will be going from Grand Blanc Township line to the middle school. So we continue to work on that. We'll be going for some trust fund grants. If you're keeping track of, what we're working on, this year, we're gonna start working on the historic footbridge at Richfield County Park over the bridge. And through the next couple years, we're going to be working on all the work progress administration buildings that were built. So those giant pavilions that you see at Flushing and Richfield and the one down at Linden at the beach, with the fireplaces, we're going to be renovating those. So that's going to be a big thing coming up for us. We're working with Southern Lakes Parks and Recreation on a possible disc golf course down at Linden County Park. And then we'll be looking at going for a grant. We received one, cost came back a little bit too high, so we had to give it back, but we're going for a new location for a couple pickleball courts down at Linden County Park. And with that, we're looking for a lot of community support as far as that goes to get that project done. And also, that section of Iron Belt Trail I was talking about. We've got a lot of the funding in place, but, having advocates behind us, we're always asking for letters of support when we do grants. And those are always great things to have. We'll be doing some more upgrades at the campground. One of the things that you'll see on deck next year is coming up with some accessible campsites, so people of all abilities can use the campground. We're also involved with the development of the Flint State Park, which includes, right now we're doing the in-river work downtown that will remove the substructure of the Hamilton and Fabry dams and creating a series of riffles that are basically step downs to back the water up a little bit, but to get 7 feet of elevation change between Vietnam Vets Memorial Park and Grand Traverse and Riverbank Park. It's an exciting project with all of the 5 units that will be involved with it. We'll still be looking to do some park improvements, especially in the Riverbank Park area, and then the other units, which include the Mott Recreation Area where the disc golf course is, Happy Hollow, which was the state nature preserve back behind the School for the Deaf, which is now Powers High School, and the development of the Grand Traverse Greenway, which will be part of the Iron Belt Trail system. A lot of excitement there. And then, the 50th anniversary for Crossroads Village, we'll be doing hopefully some exciting stuff there for that.
Patrick, thank you so much. You, I think, really showed us how important parks are to not only our communities that have the parks in them, but to all Genesee County residents. And then the fact that the vision that you and your team have created are really starting to take place and draw more people in, just to show what Genesee County is offering. And by mentioning that largest county park system in the state, I think that is an amazing thing to know as a resident. Is that right here, right? I mean, you mentioned getaway right away. I mean, 13,000 acres is an amazing experience, I think, for everybody to find something that's for them to enjoy and invite their friends and other family. Patrick Linehan, with the director of Genesee County Parks, it's been really a pleasure to talk to you more today and really see your passion for what role you're in and the vision that you and your team have.
Thank you, Travis.
Well, I look forward to talking to you, and I know my family and I are really looking forward to, I think, discovering more parks since we've spent time together that we can go to. So, Patrick, thank you so much, and I hope everybody can get out and enjoy Genesee County Parks. Sign up for a Halloween-themed 5K or get a camping spot and just enjoy yourself. So, Patrick Linehan, thank you so much for being on the Community Collective podcast.
Thank you, Travis.